Now, contrary to what you'll see at most commercial gyms, the leg press machine can actually be used for exercise, and in particular, exercising the muscles of your lower body. Or you can just use it as a bench to lean back on and text message and maybe take some selfies if you like. But if you are interested in exercising, it could be a really good option for really making the lower body the limiter, as opposed to the limiter being your ability to hold the position as it is in most barbell type lifts. So if you have a good leg press, this is a nice option. So the first thing to consider is where you're going to put your feet. If you put your feet a little bit lower, you're going to get more quad in proportion to glute. If you put your feet a little bit higher, you're generally going to get more glute. Now with this type of machine, it's biased more towards the hips. So if you have a machine that's more on a pendulum like this one, you're going to be getting more glute, relatively speaking, than you would on a more linear type of leg press. But regardless, where you put your feet is going to determine what is taking the majority of the load. From here, you want to just make sure that you're pulling yourself into the pad with those handles. So lock yourself in with the upper body. That should prevent your back from rounding, your pelvis from moving. You don't want to go so far down that your whole butt is lifting off the bench. You can prevent that to a degree by pulling yourself into position with the hands, and then also just making sure that you're not going to a ridiculous range of motion. You also want to make sure that you're not completely locking the knee out at the top, so I'd recommend just keeping a soft knee at the top. Lastly, you want to make sure that your femur, your tibia, and your foot are all in a nice straight line. And then one more pro tip would be just avoiding holding your breath throughout the whole range of motion here, as a lot of people tend to do. That's going to create a lot of pressure in a bit of a precarious position that could end up not being so awesome in the long run. So just something to watch for there. Otherwise, it's pretty foolproof. Lock yourself in and let them rip.